Hi, I'm Boris the Bee Guy, ForestBeehive Apiary, Central Maine. Here we have very cold winters. The gold standard of wintering in climates with cold winters is what honeybees themselves have relied upon for thousands of years: a well-insulated bee nest in a natural tree hollow. A beehive that closely mimics a natural tree hollow that bees tend to choose for themselves would favor the bees rather than a beekeeper. Here, Tom Seeley, a renowned honeybee researcher, shows the inner dimensions of the natural tree hollow that the bees prefer. Roughly a 10-gallon, 40-liter cavity with very thick sidewalls and exceptionally thick insulation above the cluster. There's no top ventilation. Bees consume heat and regulate moisture through a single small bottom entrance. There's an all but misleading beekeeping mantra: cold doesn't kill bees, moisture kills bees. Partly, this mantra came from beekeepers finding winter clusters of dead bees that were wet and assuming that moisture killed them. According to Dr. Scott Debnam, a master beekeeper and a professor of U Montana, moisture on dead bees is just the result of their death, not its cause. In a poorly insulated hive, dripping condensation can indeed fall directly onto the bees and kill them in winter. But in a well-insulated tree hollow-like cavity, bees maintain heat and manage moisture correctly. With strong top insulation, the bees maintain a warm envelope of air around their cluster. Any excess moisture condenses on the cooler sidewalls, not above the bees, and drips down toward the entrance. In such well-insulated cavities, with no top venting, the bees don't need to work extra hard, and they consume far less honey resources to maintain the heat over winter. Some of the excess moisture goes out the bottom entrance, and some of it the bees consume, for example, to dilute the honey without flying out in the cold and endangering themselves. Per Dr. Scott Debnam, in natural tree hollows, the bees propolize the bottom of the cavity to help them collect pools of moisture for consumption. In recent years, highly insulated bee tree modeled hives with single entrance and no extra vents are being used for successful wintering in Klondike and Alaska, places once thought impossible for outdoor overwintering. If I used conventional, poorly insulated hives with top ventilation at ForestBeehive Apiary during our cold winters, my bees' well-being would be unfairly burdened. In the walls of my beehives, there's 1.5 inch of raw sheep wool insulation, giving a total R value of 7, about 7 times higher than a 1-inch wooden wall. For winter, our total top insulation is even more substantial with R value 20. Before winter, I double up the top insulation with an external 2-inch pink board under a tarp ratchet strapped to a lid. In winter, my hives have top vents closed, and there's 2 to 3 degrees frontal incline towards a single small entrance, so the excess moisture can drip out through a single bottom entrance. I put some sackcloth bags with moisture-absorbent, high-quality raw sheep wool on the bottom, and next spring I will put a thin layer of propolis on the bottom board, similar to how the bees organize their nests in natural tree hollows.